Welcome to part 13 of the Advanced Revit course. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to create a detail plan or a part plan, and you're also going to learn how to create an axonometric section, which looks great. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials, and resources, as well as 20 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to check out the full course on my website. I'll see you there. I'm going to create a new sheet. And what I'm actually going to do is put this under the internal elevations. So I'm going to put it in the drawing type internal elevations. I'm going to make this A401 and we'll call this games room layout. That way when we print this, we've got the internal elevations just before this layout page. So it's consistent rather than it being in say 500 and then you have to search through the document to try and find it. So the first thing we want to try and figure out is how to create this part plan. And to do that, we're going to go to our ground floor plan. Now there's a few different ways that you could do this. We could use a callout, and what a callout does is it grabs a part of the plan, or you can also do this in elevation or section, and it creates an enlarged version of that part. So that seems pretty perfect for what we want, and I'll show you how to do that. If you go to the View tab, you've got this callout button here. We can create a rectangle and just create a call out around this part. Now, if we go to this view by right clicking that call out and going to the view, you're going to see that that's actually pretty good. It's got now a 1:25 version of this part of the floor plan. In fact, we might want that to be 1:20 because 1:25 is a bit weird. It's essentially just taken a cut of the floor plan and placed it at a bigger scale on a new view. Now, the issue with this is that you'll see that it doesn't include any of the detail items. So things like the door tags and the room tags, and if we had any, filled regions or detail lines, they're not actually going to follow across on this drawing. You'll usually use this tool for detailing, and we will touch on this towards the end of this course as well, where we actually start detailing. But for us, we want to do the same kind of idea and create the same kind of result, but we want to do it in a way that brings over all of the detail components as well. So I'm going to go back to that ground floor plan. And I'm actually just going to delete that callout, and that's going to delete that floor plan as well. But that is one way of doing it if you don't want to bring over all of the detail items as well. The next method is going to be by duplicating the view. So you'll see that this is our ground floor plan here. If I just zoom to fit, you'll see there it is. And we only want this section of it. So what we can do is duplicate the view. And there's a few different methods of duplicating this view. You can just duplicate it, which is essentially going to do the same thing as the callout. It's going to duplicate it, but without any of the detailing of that view. It's going to keep all of the same settings. It's going to keep the same view template and the same scale and all of that sort of stuff, but it's not going to bring us in the detailing components. So I'm just going to undo that, and we're going to duplicate the view again, and you're going to see that there's also duplicate with detailing. So this is going to duplicate the view and keep all of that detailing. This is essentially just creating a copy of that floor plan and keeping it exactly how it was, which is kind of what we want. But then I'm just going to undo that for now. And you're going to see there's another method of duplicating, and that is to duplicate it as a dependent. If we click on that, you'll see that again, it's duplicated it with all of the detailing parts, but this is now dependent on the ground floor plan. So if we open up that ground floor plan, that original ground floor plan, and we move this tag, let's say we move it over that table there. It's also going to move it in this dependent view. So that's actually really good. But the only issue is that if we want to change the scale of this, because we obviously want this to be bigger, if we change the scale of this to 1:20, it's also going to change the scale of it in this dependent view as well. So let's just undo that. We're going to undo that move of the tag, and then we're going to undo creating that other dependent view. What we're going to do is duplicate this view with detailing. This is going to create an exact copy of that view. But now what we can do is change the scale of this to, let's say, 1:20, and it's not going to change the scale of the main view. So I can just call this and rename this Games Room Plan. So now we've got a new Games Room Plan, but we'll just need to crop it down and make sure that none of this other stuff shows. So I'm just going to turn on the crop region and make that visible. And then I'm going to bring this in just so that it's showing us the games room. What we can also do is turn on the annotation crop, and I might actually do that. So that way, none of the other annotations outside of the crop of the view are going to be shown. You can see that all of these annotations then become hidden, which is what we want. So now we've created a 1:20 version of that plan, and it's got all of the detail components that we added on the ground floor plan. It's kept all of them, but it's just gotten rid of everything else that we don't need, which is perfect. We can now chuck this on our games room layout page. So let's open up that sheet and find our games room plan and place it on this drawing. These grid lines are way too far out, so I'm just going to select both of them, and you can see that they are currently on 2D extents, so moving these aren't going to move them in any of our other drawings. So I'll just move this up and bring it into the view. And now that we've got this on a sheet, what we can actually do is open that view, and we could start to dimension what some of these distances are. So if I wanted the distance of this interior wall to, say, this shelf, and then the distance of that shelf to the start of that door, and then the length of that door, I can put that dimension in here. And the great thing is that this is a blown up version of that plan. You can see that if we go to our normal ground floor plan, that's the size of it normally, and it's going to be difficult to get any of those dimensions on that plan without blowing it up and making it into a bigger version of it. So that's how you create a part plan. You just duplicate the view with detailing, and then you add it there. Or if you don't need the detailing, you can just use a call out view of it. But I tend to leave that just for detailing because the call out is going to show on your floor plans, which you don't necessarily want to have to hide every time you create a part plan like this. So next up, we're going to want to create a 3D axonometric drawing of the games room. How do we go about doing that? What I'm going to do is just open up this part plan. I'm going to select pretty much everything in this view, going from the top left to the bottom right. What I'm going to do is just press BX, and that's going to create a section box of what I've just selected. And there you can see that selection box. You can also go up to the Modify tab and you'll find the selection box in here, but BX is the same thing. Now what you can do is select this selection box, which is going to be the bounding box around it, and you can bring in some of these points. I'm going to take the ceiling off of it, and then I'm also going to bring in this wall here. And in fact, I might bring back this other wall as well, just so that we can see inside this view and look inside the games room. So something like that is pretty good. If you want to hide away some of these levels and grids and stuff like that, because we don't need to see them in this view, you can do so. What I'll usually do is have a view template set up for these 3D views, and in fact we can create one. I'm going to just use the default architectural representation 3D, apply that, and what I'm going to do then is then duplicate that, and we're going to call this 3D Axo. Already we're going to know that the scale is going to need to be bigger, probably 1:50 or 1:20. We'll just make it 1:50 for now. For the visibility and graphic override settings, what I want to change is, first of all, the levels and grids. We want to turn them off under the annotation category. I'm going to just type GR to bring up the grids. We can uncheck that, and then LE to bring up the levels, and we can uncheck that. If we apply that, click OK, and apply that template, you'll see that those things disappear. Now we can choose to have color in this or not. You can see that it's currently on the model display of shaded. What I might want to do is change this to hidden line, apply that, and then you'll see that none of the materials or colors are shown. If you do want to show the materials and colors, you can keep this as shaded, or even realistic mode may work for you as well. Let's see what that looks like. As you can see, it likes to crash your model if you do that. So use that wisely. I'll click OK, and we'll keep it on realistic. I'm just going to save so that we don't lose done. So already you can see that this is looking pretty damn good. I'm going to go over to the 3D cube in the top right hand corner and click on the corner that we want to show it as. And you're going to know that this is now in an axonometric view. What we can do is then go down to the bottom and click on where it says unlocked 3D view. We can save the orientation and lock the view. And we're going to call this Games Room 3D. Doing so is going to create a new view of this 3D view, and you'll see it under your 3D views now. You've got that Games Room 3D. I might just bring this selection box in a tad so we don't see that floor sticking out there, but I think that pretty much does it for that view. If we can bring this in a little bit as well, that might look a bit better. I'm just going to hide away the selection box now. I just pressed EH, which is my shortcut for hiding. And now we can go back to our Games Room layout. We're going to now add this view to that sheet, and you're going to see that it is a bit too small. So I'm going to open this up, and we're going to go to the view template, And we're going to change this view template to a 1:20 or a 1:25 scale. We'll see what fits better. I think a 1:25 scale might even work best. We'll apply that. We're just going to add this to that view. I'm going to just turn off that view title because we don't need to see it. And probably do the same for that plan because it's pretty clear that that's the games room. So now we've got a part plan of the games room, which we can begin to dimension or annotate however we wish. And then we've got a 3D axonometric view of that as well, which is going to very clearly show what this space is all about. And the fact that this is just after the games room internal elevations here as well, it makes it very clear and readable how this space is meant to be designed and how it's meant to be built, how it's meant to look, I should say. And it's a very consistent and clear way of showing your design. In the next lesson, we'll be stylizing the graphics of the drawings in this set in order to create a great looking finished architectural set. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials and resources, as well as 20 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to check out the full course on my website. I'll see you there.